Take one, take two, action. How do movie directors do this? What's the purpose of doing this? Action. I've started. There you go. Extended list. Extended cut, I mean, of the community tier list. Let's do this. So I'm gonna probably start from the bottom to the top, shall we? And we take a look at the stuff. So I don't think I really disagree too hard on whatever there's below. Except for the fact that I don't think Carnelian, like personally, I don't think Carnelian's a 5.9. I know that her damage is not very high, but I would strongly advise for people to learn about her skill too, which is actually still functional today, because it's quite a regular buy. But I guess there's just too many crowd control people as well, which is why people don't think about Carnelian. Too bad. Siege, on the other hand, I strongly think she's a 5.9. I mean, she is basically there, right? Because her rating in the community list is 5.95. If you take a look from the other way of the average, 5.95. Yeah. I think the other 6 stars over here, I'm okay with them being a 6.0 because it's kind of like they all have something niche about them that makes you go, you don't have the strength of a 6 star, but like you got something unique going on, like Lessing immune to negative status, far tooth, straight line range, Hoheya, constant tornado, Helagus, you can stall one person if you want to, Vigil, early start, 3 woos, like a shield, Eunectus, you can hold, like, okay, you're a 6.0, you still function. I'll be surprised if anyone thinks that the bottom tier units shouldn't be here. Like, of course, some of you might have had really good experiences of using some of these people, but it's not often that it happens, I would say. So that's that. The 6.1 is also a little interesting because I wouldn't put Megalon and Ark that high. Like, Ark is so superseded by a lot of the meta buffers today. And then Megalon as well is not the easiest to make her look really good. But the other units, I'm okay. I'm happy with their 6.1s. Like, yeah, I do think Dusk is fairly decent. Ashjin is okay. Palas as well. Palas somehow does feel a little nicer to use than the bottom units, at least for me. So I'm okay with this. But the 6.2 gets a little crowded. Anyone here that I disagree with? I actually think Ash is still not that bad. I'd be willing to push Ash up by one more tier. It's just people don't use Ash anymore. Yeah, like you see how Axios in 6.3? At minimum, I'll put the two of them together. Like if they both fell off, according to people who think that Axios is 6.3, just buff them. And then they still look super good today, right? Like give them a Skadi Outer, give them a Warframe. Although some people say, oh, you could argue that for all the 6 stars below, but like, no, I think these two are the ones that scale super well when you have a buffer compared to some of the others. Because again, high ASPD and super fast at destroying stuff. So, oh well. Anyways, Aketo feels a little high. I don't know if people are considering her IS mod. Because without the IS mod, I really don't think so highly for Aketo. The most I'd be willing to give is 6.1. But I think in my rating, I gave her... Did I give her 5.9 in my own personal rating? I think what's fun about this is if you take a look at the range and then see whether or not you fall within that range. So like for instance, if now I'm talking about Aketo, right? Aketo is rated 6.3. So if I rate this 5.9, then I'm an anomalous person because people at minimum think she's a 6. I'm okay with that, really. I guess I'll follow through that she should at minimum be a 6, but wow, 6.2 feels high. Flametail also feels a bit high. Do people think that she has a lot going on? That they feel so good about her? Okay. I think I'm okay with a lot of the 6.2. 6.3, Swire should be higher. Just not enough people use Swire. Swire has an amazing utility going on for her. Whoa, Schwartz is big. Schwartz is pretty higher. I mean, it's not very easy to make her look good. But I do think Pozionka is higher than Schwartz. Like the ease of using her turrets and stuff is helpful. Fianata being here, okay. Mostima is probably bumped up high because of her global speed down module, which is pretty fair. I think I rated her at 6.3 or so. Nien feels really... Whoa, Nien at 6.3 and Hoshi at 6.5? That different? At least a tier gap, right? Holy crap, we gave 2 tier gaps between the two of them. It's either like Nien is 6.3, Hoshi 6.4, or the other way around, Nien is 6.4 and Hoshi is 6.5. I wouldn't have rated Hoshi that highly. Okay, in fact, right, I think I rated Hoshi quite differently from... Yeah, I rated Hoshi at 6.2. I'm different from the community. By the way, as you're watching this video, I didn't quote the idea that if you click on the operator, you can straight away see their graph. So I'm just declaring it now. If you assess the site for yourself, I'm going to add that feature. Because I actually want that feature right now so that it's easier instead of me clicking back and forth. But it's fine. I'll still do that for the sake of this video. But okay, that's what the community says. Stainless feels... Nah, Stainless has good on-demand, skill 1, attack buff, good on-demand SP recovery. Okay, 6.3. I'm glad that people didn't put Rosa so low. I was very fearful that people think Rosa is weak. But I guess not, right? Rosa is rated at 6.1 to 6.4. Not a big range. But no 6. Cool. I mean, there are probably people rated 6. As you can see from this table. Ooh, weird distribution graph. But yeah, happy with the rating that people gave her. I think I'm done with this row. 6.4. Why is Select so high? I know she's got utility. I know she has fragile and stun, but that big? Same for Weedy. Because I feel like when you think of how I guess this is a question of power, but I feel like power should also consider how often do you truly use them. Maybe some people do use Select actively, but I can't imagine people using Weedy actively. You know, are people thinking of Weedy only because of like the 2 CC performances that she had, like way far in the history? Or maybe people think her skill 2 is really good, or her skill 3 is really good. I'm not saying that they're bad, it's just a 6.4? I personally will go lower. And the fact that I will go lower, but there's probably people who went higher for Weedy. Like, let's look at Weedy's peak range, right? Weedy's highest, so she's 6.36. Highest is 6.5. Yeah, so some people went 6.6 to 6.9. Wow. Like, I'm not in this crew of people. I'd still be in the green box, but not these outliers in a sense. Wow. Okay, like I can see the argument being Weedy skill 2 being like constant stall and stuff. You know, don't think about the damage, think about the fact that she can keep pushing people and hold it out. Blaze is pretty high. Oh, Gavial is rated the same as Blaze and not far apart. I think Gavial Alta is way better than Blaze. Like, a tier different at least. Even 2 tier difference. Because Gavial's skill 2 and 3 is good, you know, and actually like able to destroy a lot of sages even in this current modern time. Yeah, people just think of the AFK status of Blaze, but in truth, the AFK status of Blaze isn't like that powerful. And in fact, like manually activated skill tends to just be better. Maybe people just think of the ease of use. And that's why they kind of fall into the same place. But no, Gavial will be higher for me. Oh, sad for Dorothy. It's funny that both Blaze are in the same tier. Pepe being here is... I think I rated Pepe higher. But I expected that the community wouldn't think so well of Pepe. Marcel being in 6.4, decent. Irene, thankfully not rated too low, right? Into the 6.4. Actually, I think some of them scrapped the bottom of the barrel for 6.4 because, again, I did state that the numbers like round up and round down. So like, look at the bottom of the barrel, right? There's 3 of them, Marcel, Irene, and Vic Separato. Their true rating isn't 6.4. In fact, it's 6.35. You know, and 6.36. So they managed to get into their cuts, but okay, fair enough for this role. Thankfully, Vina survived punishment as well, and at least is seen as 6.4. Civilite is rated 6.44 on average, but I can definitely see her going up higher. So this is the middle of the pack. This is 6.5. Whoa, 6.5 has... Do people think... Wait, people rate Hoshiguma and Silver Ash on the same line? Wow. Wow. I mean, do you really think that they're together? Nah, Hoshi gotta go lower than Silver Ash somehow. Or Silver Ash gotta go higher. Why is QB... Okay, this middle of the pack is a strange one. I think thus far, I don't have strong disagreements towards anything here. Like, of course, I've rated some of them vastly different, but this one is fun to review, right? TT deserves a 6.5. I'm happy with that. And I'm also happy that Ifrit is seen as a 6.5. I'm really worried that she wasn't seen that highly. Raiden is a bit of an anomaly because, again, we're considering general use and not IS, but unfortunately, people probably thought of IS. I'm okay with Spectre Alter being here. Taunts is rated higher than Taunts Outer. So when I hover over the picture, I can see it says 6.52 right now, and Taunts is 6.58. Like, so the numerical difference is not too big between the two of them, right? Just to show you all what I mean, if I go to the detail, right? Taunts Outer is 6.52, Taunts is 6.58. So it's not hugely different, but I feel like the gap can be closer than just a 0.06. Fair. But, well, no Outer is rated very strongly by us. Vulpes Folia, okay. It feels like they need to be a bit more split apart somehow. Like, some people deserve to be higher, some people deserve to be lower a little bit. What a muddy looking pool of operators this is. And after, I think this 6.5 and 6.6 that we're going to look at will probably be the biggest range units. Like, for example, if I just come here now, yeah, look at the range, right? So the ones that feels more definite are the ones with the 0.2. Like Penance, for example, 0.2. So we all collectively agree she hovers around here. But then once you start looking at the 0.4s and the 5s, like Crown Slayer is messy. Lumen is messy, right? 6.3 to 6.7. Holy carp. Where does Silver Ash go? Silver Ash goes into... I've lost Silver Ash. 6.3 to 6.6. That low! Holy shit! People think he's 6.3? Huh? Why? What is with the 95th percentile of Hoshiguma? Why do people think Hoshiguma is a 6? Are you thinking of Hoshiguma the Breacher? When you did my survey? What the shit is that? But okay. Whatsoever. Maybe they're thinking of Silver Ash Outer as well. Holy shit, some people may be mistaken, but I don't know. But they're literally side by side in my survey, so who knows? Lin 6.4, 6.7. So yeah, Penance seems like the reasonable one, right? I'm okay with Chongyue being the 6.4 to 6.7 range. Shupai is wild. Titi is wild. Horn's range feels like it should be a bit higher. Like it should start from 6.4. Maybe end at 6.7. Musis as well. Executor, no. Oh, Kyubi goes on the low end. It starts at 6.3. Whoa. I think Kyubi should at least start at 6.4. Or even 6.5 actually. 6.4. I'm okay if one starting at 6.4. Same for Ifrit. Same for Radiant. Okay lah, even though it's a muddy pool, because after all it's the average that you're looking at, the range makes sense for a lot of the 6.5 people. Which is the reason why in the previous video, I stated that you should be more concerned about this rather than this. So yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with these. It's what I expected the community to do. Oh, wait, Gladia 6.4 to 6.8, okay. Mountain 6.4, whoa! Mountain to up to 6.8? Not... I don't know if I'd ever go that high. Same for Bagpipe. I don't think Bagpipe is a 6.8 strong. And I don't think Mountain is also a 6.8 strong. But they're minimally a 6.4 strong, I agree with that. Zuola. Why does Zuola have a lower peak than these two? Should go higher, I think. Tones have too high of a peak already. 6.8 also should go down. Like, to like 6.7 these people. Skadi at 6.8. No freaking way. No, not that high. Not that high. Just 6.7. That's the highest that it can go. Ooh, Nymph is interesting. That I don't think her peak is that, but I could see the community arguing the peak being that. Susan's peak is big, and then Kelsey's peak is also big. The Crest peak can be big, and Aya's peak also. I think Nightingale needs to be more unified, agree. Meaning like the range right now is 0.3, right? I think the range for Nightingale could be smaller, 0.2 maybe. That I feel like we should lock in. What's the range I would say we should lock? We should lock 6.6 to 6.7? Oh, nah, could probably also include 6.8. Minimally 6.6, I think. Then Chen the Holongday. I like that Enteleke is taught very highly in this community. Same for Saria, I also enjoy that. Reed feels whoa, Reed have the same average rating as these two. And then very close to these bunch of people as well. That's cool. Nah. Fine, I'll accept it. I think that's fair. Typhoon feels a bit high considering that her skill doesn't do as well nowadays. I feel like people think of her old performance, which isn't to say that it doesn't exist. But only double target on skill 2 and skill 3 being a very slow skill, although it's still good damage. I'm not gonna complain. I think it's okay. Ooh, Mantra with the 666. She is strong. Is she a 6.7 strong for me? I think so. I think I would say Mantra is at least 6.7. The low end for Mantra is 6.5. Did Mantra underperform for you in your team to give her a 6.5? Then there's Ray, there's Golden Glow. Ray, I can understand that people go 6.5 because single target after all might not be always the best unit to use. Ling is kind of okay, fine. Maybe if you don't like the deployment limit of Ling and like how she consumes the entire squad, I guess that's why you rate her low. Thank you for putting Narantia quite highly. I think Narantia can go even higher, like 6.8, but I'm okay with this, 6.6 to 6.9. Serta feels very... Does she? I was gonna say she feels very high, but if she's put in the same tier as these two, maybe with Golden Glow, I'm okay then. Ella should be way higher. Ella and Dagon needs to be way higher. The seriously strong operators. No, I would say Ella deserves to be higher by a bigger margin than Dagon, because they have the same rating after all. I mean, so easy to use Ella. On demand fragile, on demand slowdown, ammo based skill, can be on the ground. So versatile to use Ella. I think I'm a straight up Ella preacher in this community. She's one of the best units in every single game mode. I barely see a disadvantage of Ella, right? Lei Zi, I mean, you're talking about Moina and Lei Zi. Competition. Moina is thought to be higher than Lei Zi. Not by a lot, it's only by a 0.06 difference, but I think can be closer. I don't think they're that different, you know? I expect a smaller range of a difference, maybe a 0.03 instead. Maybe not enough people have experienced Lei Zi to truly know. After all, there's more responses for Moina than Lei Zi. I'm okay with Virtuosa being here. I'm also okay with Kirin Yato being a 6 point. Thank heavens! Thank everyone that Texas and Yato are close together. That's what I want to see. They cannot be that far apart. I know some people have personal opinions that they think that either Texas is way better than Yato or that Yato is way better than Texas. But no, this is good. This is good. I think eventually, even if you have a different opinion, like if you think someone should be very different, when we equalize ourselves as a community, I truly think their rating on average should be about the same. And Escalon sandwiches between them. Hey, but Escalon's really good, so... Okay. Escalon can be higher. I think Escalon is amazing. Deserves to be a 6.9, but 6.8 was the number that we gave. Ooh! Fun! Starting from Wena, the upper number becomes 7. So some people think really, really well of these units. I feel like Chen Alter is rated very highly. I don't know if it's because of recency bias, or that people don't have a lot of 6 stars and they just think Chen is amazing. But I have a lot of 6 stars. I do think that she can be 6.8 strong. I'm on the low end. I think I did I rate her 6.8 or 6.7 in my ranking? No, I feel like I went with the hot take. I said 6.7. And I knew it was a hot take. This is what I expected the community to do. It's just, maybe I wish they didn't. Because I don't think she's that strong. Lemuel is fair, I think. That's fun. The range is very small. Ooh, so the range of these people start to be pretty small. Right? 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. So we all collectively agree that Lemuel, Ayer, Lapland are basically 6.9s. So I can go back to the compact detail now because the range of these units... So it gets messy here, right? Like once you start trailing away from 6.4, this middle is giant in terms of our divisiveness of opinions. But the bottom end and the top end, I think we all pretty much say the same thing about the units. So you can see that in the behavior of our range. Although there's still some 0.3s, which means that we're a bit split, but I think it's not so bad once you come here. So like in the 6.9, right? Yeah, I agree. Ayer 6.9, Lapman 6.9, Sakiko as well, Monster, Innes, Shu, and Logos. I can see some people being unhappy about this that they're like, oh no, why did we put them at 7.0? You know, Shu deserves to be 7. Innes deserves to be 7. I get that, okay, but guys, there are people who rated 7. You rated 7. Some other people even said 7.1. Like, look at Innes. 7.1, Shu 7.1, Logo 7.1. You know, but they didn't beat out the distribution after all. You know, some people decided to give a fairer assessment and said they're not as busted as it seems. If we do a second poll, we'll see what happens towards these. But I think I did follow this quite a bit. Like, in fact, I rated 1 7.2, Trogodia 7.2, right? And then Wizardel was 7.1 for me. I didn't even put Exia in 7.1. I said that Exia is close to 7.1. I rated 7.0, but turns out equalizer for these 4. Exia is honestly a little bit far from these 3. So lucky you for making it to the average table, but actually in truth, I will probably put you with the others. Like literally the best of the 7 stars. If she wasn't in the 7.1. Right? These 5 being the 7.0, very agreeable. I think some of the best 6 stars that are close to being insane busted people to the ones on the top, but not quite yet. Like, I think Hoshikuma is as good as Exia. Like, I'd rate them the same if I had decimal places involved. And then the other 4, I rate them about the same as well. Meaning, like, I'll add a tiny gap between Premonix and Hoshi. And then Hoshi and Exu are together. Then I'll add another gap. And then these 3 are like their own bunch. Just coming back to 6.9 though. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I would rate them 6.9 as well. You know, the strong, but I think they're not like busted strong. In fact, Upianas wasn't 7.0 for my rating. Upianas was 6.9. But I thought he was a very high 6.9. What is his actual average rating? Oh, Upianas scrapped. Oh, you lucky boy, Upianas. Look at that, the rift between you and Silver Ash. He made it to 7 just because he's a 9.5. In truth, he should be below. Which makes sense. I thought he was the best of the 6.9s. Okay, I think this is a fun rating. I'd be curious to see if anyone has like extremely strong opinions towards this. But pretty good consensus, I would say, that the community has. So I hope you all enjoyed the first community power scale project that we had. Again, if you have feedback or advice, whatever you want to say to do a better second version, go ahead. I'll be reading about it. And hopefully we do something fun again next time. Alright? See you guys in another video. Bye.